Hi everyone, it's Kevin at Bear Creek, and today we're going to talk about doing a split with a cutout queen cell. Uh, Splitting a hive is a relatively painless process. I know it can be intimidating for newer beekeepers, but that's exactly what this video is intended for. I documented my process of doing a split this summer through 4 videos, but rather than having people go through 4 30-minute videos, I decided to summarize the split with the cutout queen cell in this short 10-minute video. Now splits can be made for a variety of reasons, but mainly you want to increase the number of hives in your apiary. And this is one of the simplest and cheapest ways to go about it. You could go and buy a queen for about $35 to $45 and put her in the split, and you'll have a laying queen right away. This process takes a little longer, and there's a little bit more risk to it because the matings don't always take, or the virgin doesn't always come back mated. So you are taking a risk, but the expense is minimal because you're not using a ton of your resources to provide this hive. So I'm going to go through my process of doing this split with a cutout queen cell on plastic foundation. It's easy to do one on wax foundation because all you need is a little utility knife and you can cut the wax right out. But with plastic, you need to get a little bit more creative on how you do the cutouts. So I'm just going to go through my method of doing it. So the first thing I had to do, I had a split which is in that little white box to the farthest box away with a frame of queen cells in it. And that's what I was going to harvest the queen cells from. But I needed a nucleus colony to put the cutout queen cell into. So these 2 yellow hives were actually stacked on top of each other. This was 2 boxes. So what I did was I split them into 2. I put the queen in the new location, shook a bunch of nurse bees in this new location that I'm standing next to, and the yellow box furthest away, little yellow nuke box, is the queenless colony, and that is where all the foragers will return from. So that hive will stay with a healthy population of hives, but it's going to need a queen. Now I just did this split 2 hours ago. They know that they're queenless, so I'm going to make a cutout, and this is what I'm going to use. It's a Dremel tool, if you didn't catch that real quick. It's Dremel tool with a drywall bit, and that would make for an easy way to cut a nice circle around a queen cell without doing too much damage, from what I found, and it's very, very painless to do it. This is the hive that has the frame that I'm holding in my hand. And you can see the queen cells on this frame, along with a lot of capped brood. One of the things you have to do is decide which cell to use. Which cell do you want to cut out? So I'm going to smoke the bees off, and that's probably not going to work too well. So the easiest way to do it is to just grab a bee brush and brush the bees off the frame so that you can work the hive. Do not shake the bees off the frame. Queen cells are very, very fragile at this point in their development. But now you can see the queen cells at the bottom and the side and the top on this side of the frame, and on the other side of the frame, there's 5 or 6 on the right hand side, and you can see 1 on the upper left. And the one on the upper left is actually the one I think that I'm going to go for, because it just seems to be the easiest target for me. So I have this little frame holder. I've got my Dremel tool going, and I'm going to cut it out. I have it on the highest RPM that it can go. I found that to actually have the least amount of vibration allowable, and it makes very, very quick work of this. And all I got to do is cross my fingers and hope that the vibration doesn't affect the queen too hard. So, you know, 5-10 seconds later, I've got the queen cell fully cut out. I turn off the Dremel tool, and then I can work on pushing out the queen cell. So there she is. There's the queen cell. Now this is actually a pretty big size cutout, which makes it a little bit more difficult to install it between frames. So this is the 5-frame nuke that I'm now working on. I ended up having to pull a frame off and just leave 4 frames in so that I could fit the queen cell between the frames, and that'll fit. Now this is obviously I started all this. I started the cells on June the 3rd, so they were 3 days old. This is June the 11th after they're fully capped, so we're on day 11 of it. So in another 5 days, we're going to be looking for a capped queen cell. 16 days. So June 16th, I'm going to have to come out. Well, I don't have to, but I'm just going to come out and do a checkup on this hive on June 16th. So now, you know, that's the frame that I had to remove. I'm just shaking the bees off onto it. These bees in this colony do not have to do anything other than keep that cell warm. It's already been fed. It's already been capped. So all they are doing is waiting on this queen to hatch. They don't go about making any queen cells anymore because they realize that they have a live queen cell in the colony, ready to hatch in just a few days. So they won't be creating any of their own queen cells. At least not that I've ever noticed them doing when you give them a queen cell. I'm just installing my cloth inner cover there. That's got the feeder hole. And this is what the hole looks like after you cut out your queen cell with the Dremel tool. You're going to have a big hole in the plastic foundation, obviously. And then you're going to put that back into the colony you took it from. And in 3 or 4 days, you're going to come back, and the bees are going to have totally repaired that hole. You can see the white section there, where it's totally repaired seamlessly. And the rest of the bees are starting to hatch out now. This was probably 4 or 5 days later. Okay, June 16th, I checked the hive, and there we go. That's the bottom of the cell. You can tell that it looks like a healthy hatch because the bottom is tore open. If the sides were open, that would not be a good sign, but this is a good sign that the bottom has been, and she has been released in the colony. On June 25th, I went in and found her. That was 9 days later. She was crawling around in the colony, so I ended up, she had not started laying yet as of June 25th. But I marked her and put her into the hive, and that was good to go. On June 25th, I knew she was a mated queen, obviously, back in the hive. She had yet to start laying, but I knew it was going to be, you know, very, very soon. On July 5th, I went into the hive, and I had to put another super on. January 5th, 2019, the bees are out in major force. This hive, which was active yesterday, is even more active today. And
they have been pulling out their dead and dropping them on the ground because I can't clean out that hive, so they must have been doing it. I see, yeah, there's one right there pulling out the dead and dropping it down to the ground. So that's what they've been doing today. It's just clearing out the dead out of their hive. So they're making good use of this day.